Today's question is, if the sum and product of two numbers is 11 and 28 respectively, find the sum of their squares. Well, without taking too much of our time, the question is asking us to find the sum of their squares. The first thing we have to do is to let these two numbers, let the two numbers be x and y. So the question says, if the sum, so the sum of these two numbers, x plus y, equals 11, and also the product, which is x, y, to equal 28. And the question already answered the question itself, because the question asks us to find the sum of their squares. So the sum of the squares of the two numbers, which is s squared plus y squared, this is what we are asked to find, of which we know that this is the sum of two squares. We can use the sum of two squares to expand this, that if you have x plus y into square of this is the same thing as this, will give us s squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Well, we can easily expand that together. For those of us that are new, this is going to give us x plus y into 2, x plus y. So we're going to use x to multiply this out, and also use y to multiply this out. So what do we have? We have x times x to give s squared, plus x times y we give plus xy, and y times x we give plus xy, and y times y we give y squared. So we're going to have s squared plus y squared plus 2xy. But in the question asks us to find this. So that means that this, which is s squared plus y squared, is going to give us x plus y squared minus 2xy. That is why I said that the question already answered itself. So in that way, this is what we are asked to find. And we know that x plus y is already been given as 11, and the product has been given as 28. But from this expansion, we're able to get the sum, which is 11 squared minus 2 into xy is 28. And this is going to give 121 minus 56. The answer here is 65, without wasting too much of our time. But some other students, of which there is another method in which you can go into it, but by the time you're doing that, it's going to be a waste of time. It's going to be a waste of time because we will say that since we already said let the two numbers be x and y, we will now say that x plus y equals 11 to be equation 1. Then xy equals 28 to be equation 2. And we can also now say that let x equals 11 minus y to be equation 3. From equation 1, let x equals 11 minus y. In that way, we can then fix equation 3 into equation 2. In that way, if we do that, we have 11 minus y into bracket y equals 28. So we are going to expand this, and when we do that, we're going to have distribute y into 11 minus y to give 11y minus y squared equals 28. So if you rearrange them properly, we're going to have minus y squared plus 11y, take 28 to the other side to become minus 28 equals 0. So this is a quadratic equation which we can solve quadratically. But before we do that, let's quickly make sure that we turn this minus into a very positive 1. So in doing that, we have to multiply both sides by minus 1. And if we do that, we have y squared. This one becomes plus, this one becomes minus 11y, this one becomes plus 28 equals 0. So in that way, we can do this quadratically. And the way we normally do our quadratic equation, this one multiplies this out to give 28y squared. If that gives 28y squared, we are going to look at whatever two numbers that we can add together or we subtract together to give minus 11. And when we multiply those two numbers, they will give plus 28. These numbers are minus 7 minus 4. Because minus 7 minus 4 we give minus 11. And minus 7 times minus 4 we give plus 28. We just need to distribute the y into here, distribute into here, bring this down, which is plus 28, and bring this down, which is y squared, then equals 0. Once you do that, bracket this and bracket this. So look for their factors. The factor in y squared minus 7y will be y. So we can say, how many y can we see in y squared? We can see y. How many y can we see in minus 7y? We can see minus 7. So leave this minus. Look at the factor between these two. It's 4. So how many 4 can we see in 4y? We can see y. Then how many minus 4 can you see in 28? Minus 7 equals 0. So in that way, don't forget that the 2 in the bracket must be the same. So we continue by saying y minus 4 into bracket y minus 7 must equal 0. That must equal 0. So in this way, if we interpret this very well, we have y minus 4 equals 0 or y minus 7 must equal 0. So we can say y equals 0 or y equals 7. That means that y equals 4 or 7. This is the value of y. We can also get the value of x, of which the value of x is going to be 7 or 4. So bring us back to case 1. Case 1 now say that from what we said let x to be, we said let x equals 11 minus y. So x will now be 11 minus 4. And now x will now be 7. That is case 1. Then under case 2, we say x equals 11 minus y. X will now equal 11 minus 7. So s equals 4. That means that when y equals 4, s equals 7. When y equals 7, s equals 4. But we are asked to find the sum of their squares. That means we're going to find the sum of their squares. This is s squared and this is y squared. This is what they asked us to find, the sum of their squares. We know that in this case, in the first case, we know that x equal to 7 squares plus y equals to 4 squared, and that will give us 49 plus 16, which is going to give us 65. And 65 the same way of what we had in the first method. So if you want to go into the case 2, it's still going to give you 65. So that is why we are here. We are here to make things easier, to be able to solve maths easier. That is why we were able to know that when they ask us to find the sum of their squares, we can use that formula to find the sum of their squares. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please kindly subscribe to my channel. In this case, whenever my videos are being uploaded, you will be the first one to get the notification. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.